Hi, my name's Steve Cochran. I'm the Technical Services Manager here in Concordia, and I welcome you to the Concordia plant. This is the new ATS line. It's line 6. We've got Wendell Bradyhoft here as our assembler, and we've got Steve Bell in the background as our team lead. This has been a great implementation where we've taken into consideration first in, first out on some very special product. As you can see, we've got gravity flow racks. We've got first in, first out on our parts warehouse in the back, which is line side. We've got all the correct tools here. We've got the documentation, which is being done electronically so that we don't have to worry about controlled documents. As soon as something changes, it's right up there. We've got one-piece flow kits. So our kits are marked with the part number in the bottom of the kit. They've got a picture. They've got how many pieces per right on the bottom of every kit. Makes it very easy to load and very easy to use when unloading. If there's any kind of issue, then we know exactly where the issue is. We're working here with Wendell. He's putting on a PCB board. When it's received by lot. But when we load it into the unit, we actually scan it with the scanner, which is here, and then it's loaded in part by part, so we know exactly which PCB board is in which box. He's handling it using a wrist strap, which keeps the electrostatic discharge.
This relay tester is actually able to do a lot more than just pass or fail. It can provide parametric data about each relay as it's going into the unit, and to tell us how well it passes or how close it came to failing. By doing that, we can actually perform a real-time analysis on our incoming parts quality. And if we start to see our suppliers' tolerances drop, we'll be able to affect the change and talk to the supplier well ahead of when those parts would actually fall out of compliance and cause a line down situation. Now we're at our test station. This is probably one of the largest pieces of technology that we had to develop to support Line 6, and also one of the most important for ensuring our quality processes. Steve has just scanned in himself, and he just loaded this product that Wendell had assembled earlier. When he did that, you can see that up on the screen came all of the parts, the lot codes and the serial numbers of the components, and it's fully populated. So now that it's fully populated and all the components are in place, Steve is able to run our functional test. Steve issued the start test command, and he's going to click in here in user ID. He's going to log in with his user, and he's going to scan the product ID, and he's going to hit the start test. And now this framework is going to check every single component inside this product. Now, Paul, one of our engineers, did a really nice job developing this framework. Each test, as it runs, comes up on the screen, and if it shows the status of the pass or fail, and if it's a metric that we can judge nearness or quality on, it gives us an exact metric. So we're able to read that there's 119 volts on block A and 120 volts on block B. That's ideal, within less than 1%. This way, we guarantee that no product can come off the line miswired. We guarantee that all the connections are in place, and that every single customer function is working as intended. Now, one of the nice things about this modular test framework as well is that if we see a problem out in the field and we correlate it back and we find that, oh, well, there's maybe a component failing that we didn't think to check, we can add that test directly to this list and update it all the time. So the continuing improvement of the product becomes part of the process. It's easy to insert, and once we identify a problem in the field, we'll put a test in to ensure that it never actually So now that the product is past test, Steve is going to go ahead and scan the end-of-line functions for this product. Now, only if there's a passing test record from the test station does this process run. But what this does is our system then allocates a serial number to the product that M2K can use, and then starts our end-of-line printers generating custom labels that have the serial number, the model number, all of the information embedded in them. It'll even create the customer shipping label. Here it comes, complete with serial number to enable our suppliers to track the product through their supply chain. Also generated is a UL durable label with the serial number of the product permanently and indelibly included. The nice thing about this system is that it makes it impossible for us to ship a product that has not passed a complete functional test and quality analysis. Future enhancements to the line include, we will also be kicking out all of the documentation, including manuals and warranty cards at the end of line, pre-filled out with the serial numbers and model numbers to allow for a higher rate of return of that information from our contractors. So right now, Steve is applying our documentation labels to the warranty card and the manual. This allows for the contractor to not have to pre-fill that information, and it guarantees that we accurately receive it. By putting a barcode on there at the same time, it also makes it easier for the power gen staff to load those records as they come back into our facility. Now Steve is currently affixing the skid sheet label to his pallet. So, in the future we may be completely integrated with M2K, but for right now we're trying to make it as reasonable as possible for our staff to track the serialized products through the factory floor. So the skid sheet provides a cheat sheet representation of all of the serial numbers of units that are on any given pallet. So once this pallet is full, Steve will affix that skid sheet to it, and they'll be able to scan all those numbers instead of having to scan all of the individual barcodes on each and every unit on the pallet. He's getting ready to put a protective cap on. Those of you familiar with our product line may notice that this packaging is a little bit more intensive than most of our other products. It was actually designed in collaboration with engineering and a third-party company to absolutely guarantee that the product ships without damage. There's an inner plastic wrapper, the outer cardboard holders. Steve's getting ready to apply a cushion buffer strip around the product, and then when he seals it up, he'll put a final packing in the top to ensure that it doesn't move in the box during shipment. These are here to protect the plastic covers from any front-facing drop it might experience during shipping. Those plastic covers are essential for waterproofness and UL rating, and if they were to get cracked, you would have to return the product. Steve's getting ready to put the manual in the box. One of the nice things about end-of-line and just-in-time generation of the documentation is that as we expand to international markets, if we know a product is being built for the Canadian market, we could print a combination English and French manual. If we know we're sending it to South America, we could print a Spanish manual. So we don't have to keep a large number of manuals in different languages and different versions and stocks. The system, when it prints out the labels, as you saw earlier, will print out the manual at the exact same time, giving us the proper and up-to-date materials.
I'm standing here with Jason. I want to conclude by saying that this was definitely the effort of the people in the plant, the people at Gardner, the people at corporate office. There's been a lot of people involved on this team. It's not just Jason and I, not just Wendell or Steve. It's been a huge team effort. And I want to thank everybody for being involved. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for being involved.
Thank you.